Hey guys, what's up? I'm Joe, and this is how to install a commercial swing gate operator. All right, so today we're here in Wooster on site. This is a new neighborhood where we're doing a gate and operator. So we're gonna walk through specifically how to set up this commercial swing gate operator. This one that we're working on is a Max 1400 swing gate operator. We're big fans of the Max operators, but we're gonna show you how to mount and set the operator, how to configure the arms that attach to the gate, how we reinforce the gate for the arm attachment, and then how we found the location and finally attached the arm operator to the gate. So we'll go through all those steps, so let's get into it. Brandon's unboxed the operator, the motor itself, and so we're getting this wiring out of the way so we can set it on this concrete pad. All that conduit and wiring is intentionally put in a position on the pad in order to come up in that open area in the middle. For this swing gate or any pad mounted gate operator, this is kind of our first steps once you've got your gate in place and assuming you got your pad or your mount correct. We're positioning this tentatively, and then we've got to fine tune where this sits, all based off of where this middle pivot point is and where our hinge is, where it pivots at the hinge. So we'll show you kind of what we got to do there. What's he squaring off of here?
Yeah.
Brad's being too technical on the.
Hey, you gave me a chart.
14 or how close are you? Important geometry. When you ask your teacher why'd I have to learn this? You can go back a little because technically the way that
you hanging out at my house with my goats?
No. All right, so yeah, we did we set the pad, and then what Brandon and Brad were just walking through there's a very specific geometry to between the pivot point of your hinge and this middle pivot point, which is actually, so this is the motor and everything that will turn to actually open and close that arm of the gate. So that we were just discussing that this morning. There's a manual for this. It's very, very vague on these measurements that you need for this, or Brandon and I couldn't figure out how to read it. But anyway, we have some older manuals, some OG manuals that we have saved that have a full-on chart of different scenarios of if you're this far left to right from the hinge and this far front to back from the hinge, where you need to be. So that's the first thing, is finding out the exact location for this in relation to how far back you are from the hinge and how far over you are from the hinge to this center point. We got it where we want it, so we need to, we're gonna drill and anchor this to our concrete pad. So after we've got our motor set and mounted, Brad and Brandon are getting welding stuff set up to weld these arms. But so depending on your distance back and over where you set your motor, it's going to dictate how far these arms are. So you can see these are sleeves and they slide in and out, so it's adjustable. There's a short arm here and a longer arm here, and this scissors to extend and retract to open and close that gate. But so one thing to note too, when they package this in the box, they put this in that goes to the gate in the short arm, but so you have to pull that out, and the short arm always goes toward the motor here, and then the long arm always goes toward the gate. So you want to make sure you got that set up correctly. You also want to turn it to where this short arm is on the bottom, and so that you have clearance for this cover, and then this long arm's on top, like we got over there. So then there is, you have to look at the manual and see according to the configuration you have as far as how many inches back and how many inches over. It will then tell you where to set the length of your short arm, meaning from this pivot point to this pivot point, and the length of your long arm from this pivot point to this pivot point. So what we typically do is we get those measurements and we mark them with a marker, and then we put the gate in the closed position and see where it hits the gate, and we put the gate in the open position to see where make sure everything's lining up right before we weld this, and then that gives us opportunity to make minor adjustments and tweaks of shifting these in or out a little bit to get it exactly right. So on this setup, we want 34 inches for the short arm, so pretty close. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna make a Sharpie mark right here, because as we're moving the gate, this may shift a little bit, but we'll line it up there. And then this was 40 and a half. Come out a little bit, so it's a little bit easier. Okay. All right, so now that we've got that, we got to find the position of the gate and then where this is going to orient to the gate. So we can't just randomly attach this at any point in the gate. We've got to, one, make sure that this gate aligns with the first gate that we've got set. If it was a single, you would just need to make sure that this is lined up exactly where you want it to be in your closed position. So here, Brandon, hold that gate in line with that other one. You want to get your gate exactly where you want it in the closed position, and then you want to extend your arm out. Here at the elbow, you want to leave about right at about a 1/4 inch. We're going to come here and mark on the gate where this arm is hitting the gate in the closed position. Then while we still have this free to adjust, we won't attach it yet, but we're going to take a look at it in the open position. So we're still lined up with our marks here on the arms, and then where's my mark here? Come back. Okay, so if you see, this is our mark that we marked on the gate, but our arm here is a little past 90. So what we're looking for here when this is opened is that where this gate hits, where this arm hits the gate, to be perpendicular from the open position. So we're gonna do a little bit of adjusting to see where we can get this to move down. We had to do a little bit of adjusting, finagling here to get our arm lengths correct, so that once the gate is open, that it is perpendicular as possible to the gate when it's in this position. So we've got that. We tack these in place just so they don't slide out of place, since we're comfortable with where they are. Once we get everything put in place and leveled up, we'll weld these up. But now the next thing is we're gonna reinforce the gate where we're gonna weld to, and then find that spot where the arm attaches and weld the arm to the gate, and then that's what gets all this in place. Then from there, it's pretty much downhill, just wiring stuff up. All right, so Brad and Brandon, they're finishing welding up that side for the attachment to the gate, and then do some welds to reinforce that bar that we're welded to. But while they're just putting the finishing touches on that, I was just gonna walk you through kind of the final setup. Now, this is getting through all the welding. The gate has been hung, and then we've set the motor, and we've got the arms all exactly like we want them. All that will be left from here will be to do your wiring and setup of your gate operator, and then any accessories that you have. But you can just see that we've got this in the closed position. Those two gates are lined up. When the motor's set up, you'll hit your remote, hit the button, and it'll open right up. Here we can do our manual release just to demonstrate, show you what we got going on. And these are not small gates, so it takes a little bit of momentum to get them going. And here we go. In the open position, we're doing all that calculations and finagling as far as how far back this is, how far over this is, and then how long each one of these arms are. But this is what the end product of what we're trying to get to, is that when this is in the open position, that this arm is perpendicular to the gate, and that just allows a good clean swing path, and is set up for the gate to open and close this gate properly. So we go through all that trouble to get to here. You'll see them sometimes where they haven't been positioned properly, and they'll be way over here, too small of an angle, or they'll be way out here. And sometimes you can get them to work that way, but it's not going to last as long, and it's not going to be as smooth of an operation. So yeah, that's how you get your operator mounted and set up, and your arms in place the way that you need to for a commercial swing gate operator. All right, so you've seen us set and mount the gate operator, configure our arms, and then do our final attachment of the arms to the gate. So we've got it all set up and ready to go, just to be wired up. Hey, thanks for checking out this gate with us today. I hope that was helpful. Make sure and like this video, it helps out a ton, and subscribe to the channel for more gates just like this.